Welcome to the Fishbowl with Jade. Thank you for being here. I don't take your presence lightly because time is something you can never get back. Now go ahead and put on your scuba gear. We're diving deep. Let me ask you something. When did aging become something people feel the need to apologize for? You see it every day. Someone hits 40, 50, 60, and instead of celebration, here comes the commentary. She doesn't look like she used to. He let himself go. She aged. And it's said like that's an insult. But what exactly were they supposed to do? Stay 25 forever? We expect people to look like a version of themselves that didn't have to survive anything. And this doesn't just live online, it shows up in quiet moments, in mirrors, in pictures you don't post, in the way you compare yourself to who you used to be instead of recognizing who you've become. And let's go deeper because we see this every day. My mom was so fine back in the day. My dad was that guy. And yes, those moments were real. But why don't we hear my mother is 60 and still beautiful. My father at 70 still carries presence. Why are we always reminded of who someone used to be as if they don't have it anymore? Because we've tied attractiveness to a moment instead of a journey. So the younger generation isn't just deciding that aging is unattractive. They're being shown over and over again that youth is the standard. That's what gets attention. That's what gets affirmed. And everything else gets compared. But let's not just point outward. Let's come inside the bowl. Before we blame the algorithm, how many times have we reinforced the same standard we say we don't agree with? How many times have we praised the throwback more than the present, compared ourselves to our past and called it better? We're not just observing this, we participate in it. Now let's be clear about something else. Not all criticism is about aging. Sometimes what people are reacting to is change that looks like neglect. And we've blurred those lines so much that people can't tell the difference anymore. Aging is natural, it's expected, it's earned. Neglect is different. But when everything is reduced to appearance, it all gets labeled the same. And that oversimplification does damage. Let's also talk about the double standard. Men age and they're called distinguished. Women age and the conversation shifts. Same process, different judgment. And that shapes how women experience aging long before they ever reach it. Now, take it a step further. There is an entire industry built on convincing you that aging is something to fix. Because if you ever became comfortable with who you are becoming, a lot of systems would lose power. So you're constantly being sold a younger version of yourself while living in a body that is meant to evolve. Now contrast that with other parts of the world. In many cultures, aging is not something you fight. It's something you step into. Elders are respected, they're visible, they're valued. Wrinkles are not something to erase. They're something that's earned. So why does aging increase your worth in some places, but decrease it here? Because in a society driven by appearance and comparison, anything that reflects time is treated like a liability. And if we're being honest, we don't struggle to see beauty in aging. We struggle to respect anything that reminds us we're not in control of time. Look at how celebrities are treated. The same people we praised in their 20s, we critique in their 50s, not because they failed, but because they changed. And if we're being real, some of that judgment isn't about them, it's about fear. Because when you see someone aging, you're reminded that you are too. And instead of accepting it, people judge it. But it will happen if you're blessed, because aging is not guaranteed. And let me be honest, because I'm not outside of this conversation. I've had moments where I've colored my gray, not out of shame, but because I questioned how I would be seen, not by me, but by others. I've noticed being called mother more. And sometimes it feels like respect. And sometimes it feels like I've been placed in a different category. That shift is real because it's not just about how you see yourself. It's about how the world starts to see you. But I'll also say this clearly. I don't compare myself to who I was 20 years ago because I actually enjoy the skin I'm in. And two things can be true at the same time. You can be confident and still aware of change. That's not insecurity, that's honesty. And this is where it becomes real, not just socially, but personally. In my story, Plenty of Flesh, there's a woman named Celina. She's approaching 40, not broken, not lost, but unsettled. Not because she became unattractive, but because she no longer felt secure in what used to make her feel seen. Celina didn't fear aging. She feared becoming invisible. So instead of facing that, she created a version of herself that didn't have to. A bolder version, a louder version, one that chased validation and moved like time didn't exist. And to her, it felt like power. But it wasn't healing, it was avoidance because she wasn't overcoming aging. She was outrunning it. And a lot of people are doing the same thing, just in quieter ways. So, what do? We redefine value. Value is not in being seen by everyone, it's in being known by yourself. We stop comparing who we were and start understanding who we are becoming. We honor our bodies for what they've carried us through, not just how they look. And we become intentional about what we reinforce in others and in ourselves. Because the goal was never to stay the same, the goal was to grow. So maybe aging isn't the problem. Maybe it's the way we've been taught to see it. And if aging is the price of living, then why are we acting like it's a penalty? Because the truth is, aging is proof of life. Thank you for sitting in the bowl with me. Now let's come back to the surface. Stay classy, stay curious, stay ever evolving. The Fishbowl with Jade can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. Search Jade Mills.